Hi there. We are out at the Conservation Foundation's McDonald Farm, and we are at the compost pile for the Green Earth Harvest, and we are with Dan, who is the assistant farm manager,
Right.
and he is showing us how they work their compost process here. So, Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you source your materials from and what your process is here.
So here's about 3 to 1 leaves from the city and manure from a horse farm, a local horse farm, and so we turn it and we try to convert it all into compost within a year after mixing it the first time. And how we mix it is using a tractor, use a bucket on the end of it, and we pick up one side of it and then move it to the middle, so we like fully turn it and like fully mix it together.
So it's actually being lifted up, so it's fully aerated, so all that air, that oxygen becomes available to all those microbes that are in that compost at that point in time, so that they can still stay active until it gets to the point where it becomes thermophilic, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
where that temperature is really heating up, which you saw from the thermometer over there, it's still happening even in this February day with sleet
Yeah.
snow and snow on the ground. It's still a hot pile, even though it hasn't been turned
Yeah.
lately.
It might be like 90 degrees right now.
Right,
In
so
cold weather.
yeah. So it may be slowing down, but it's still active. So it's more that mesophilic range right now. But once you rotate it again, it will definitely, so there's still plenty of material here to heat up and still cook and process. So how many times a year did you say you turn it?
We tried to do about 5.
Okay.
I think that's the ideal. I think the organic standard, you need to turn it 5 times to make it like organic compost, but we don't usually get that far. That's only if you wanted to sell it as organic compost or have it finished compost. We get pretty far with it.
Okay.
So, but that's, 5 times a year we'll make it like legitimate compost. And that's not always easy for us, but we get pretty far with it.
Okay. So it does take a long time then still, even at this scale, but you could get to a finished compost state,
Yeah.
cured state,
Yeah.
if you, with the rotating that you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll get all the materials and mix them together in the fall, and then by the next fall, I think we'll be able to put down compost in the winter or fall.
So yeah, as far as applying your compost, how do you do that, and how do you determine when you're ready to apply it, or is it more of a timing with, and you use what you have, the resource that you have, given the state that it's in, or do you wait till it's at a certain point?
Yeah, I mean, we would always love to have like finished compost to apply to the fields. Usually it has more to do with because you need it to be for crops that touch the ground. You need to apply compost 120 days before you harvest the first harvest, and for
Okay.
fruiting crops that won't touch the ground, it's 90 days. So we really aim for that deadline, and we're gonna, if it's not totally finished compost, we'll still put it in the field if we really need it.
Okay, so you're applying the compost at the beginning of the year then, at the beginning of the growing season?
Yes.
Okay.
For our spring and main season crops, we'll apply it as soon as we can in spring, and then for like fall brassicas like broccoli and cauliflower, we'll apply it sometime in the early summer would work.
Okay, and how do you determine the rate that you're applying it?
Oh, it's kind of like like an art, you know.
Yes.
Because it's crazy because you can throw the compost. We use a compost spreader, and you could throw it faster and more chaotically, and then you could also drive slower and open the back window so more of it throws out.
Okay.
So there's a lot of variables, but we try to get at least cover maybe 4 to 6 inches
Oh, wow.
just from like of leaf stuff.
Okay.
Sometimes it's leaves, sometimes it's finished compost. Or at least around that rate. It's kind of something you eyeball.
Okay, that's good
Because-
to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just on the big scale, you don't want to use too much because you want to make sure you have enough for your big crops, but you also don't want to spend too much time like nailing it down perfectly.
Right.
But once you figure out what speed you need to go and what how fast you need to throw the compost, it kind of you
Okay,
get.
so you're using the compost. What is the primary purpose of putting the compost on your fields?
We use it to give organic matter to the soil so we can have it more loamy instead of, right, we usually have a lot of clay, or that's usually the problem for a lot of things, but
Okay, so you use it as a soil amendment. It's not a fertilizer, correct?
yes.
All right, any other tips or tricks you can think of that we should know about the scale of farm composting? This urban farm, suburban farm composting?
I would say if you want to have any sort of like small or big farm, get in touch with like people like horse farms and the city to get leaves and stuff. So you don't have them like incinerating it, and rather you use it for your farm. Like it's always good to just look around and see where there's excess stuff.
Excellent.
I know there's some farms will get stuff from like a local restaurant, like their scraps that they're gonna throw out anyways, and like
Okay,
and that's perfect for a small scale because it's like
that's a great
only
idea.
a little bit, yeah.
All right, so this is the inside of our compost pile out here at McDonald Farm, Green Earth Harvest. And you can see we are starting to transition the inside of the pile here where it's warmer and processing into compost.
Here's a testament to the warmth of the pile too, is all the snow on the ground everywhere, but there's no snow on the pile.
Turn it, it just steams like crazy.
It is, yeah, I love that.
Yep, or you get the manure and it smells.
Okay.
So this is our compost spreader, and these fans will spin really quickly and toss compost that's all filling up this here. And we open it, this will open up too. And there's a conveyor belt that'll slide all the compost down slow enough, and this will throw it.
Awesome. So it gets it spread nice and evenly then.
Yeah, spread nice and evenly about like out to here on both sides, and so you can, not have to do this and so many times. But yeah, it usually takes like one run of this to get across a field, like a full thing. So we'll have to go through a field like 8 times to fully compost the field. So